Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Chelsea Fan TV for a new video. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the transfer window, and it's done now, it's wrapped up, so whatever is done is done. But I just wanted to make sense of it and really kind of look into each individual transfer, and these are more outgoings because we only literally signed a player and recalled a player back. And I just want to kind of make sense of what that might look like for us right now, what the plan is, and yeah, just give it a bit of a rating, I guess. I made a video just a few days before we played West Ham, kind of discussing how I felt like we've really not addressed still some of the very, very glaring issues in the squad. And now it seems like we've kind of been left a bit thin on the ground, to be honest. While the players we loaned out aren't necessarily players that, have been changing the game for us, regularly start game in, game out, they are still players that have been, I guess, adding to the depth of our bench a little bit, and maybe not all of them have offered something that we might need if a player gets injured, etc. I'm not necessarily sad or fuming. I think some of these loans make sense, and I will explain in a little bit more detail. But my concerns lie more heavily in the incomings, and I have both a negative and a positive attitude towards that. And I will talk about the positive one a little bit later on, so stick around for that. But just in kind of, looking in from the outside, when you see all the other clubs and how much business they got done, we always know that winter windows are difficult. Clubs don't necessarily get the players they want, and if they do, then the clubs they're buying from make sure that they sponge out every last penny because they can afford to. I think if you look at Manchester City, a team that has been very, very void of the quality and consistency this season, has made multiple reinforcements in January and have kind of led the ranks with the signings that they have made, and they've kind of looked at every position across the pitch and identified a player that will improve them for the remainder of the season. And not any potentials or anything. Like, you look at the signing of Marmoush and we yet to see him kind of play, but I just look at his stats and obviously how kind of high up he is in the ranks in Europe at the moment with G&A, and he's not a potential player. He's someone that comes in and potentially helps you see out the season, achieve your goals, get Champions League football, qualify for the round of 16 for the Champions League. And you kind of look at those signings and they will help in the short term. Now, Chelsea, we know, is very, very different with us because the kind of new model we're going for here is obviously signing younger players with a bit more potential on a longer period and kind of just seeing how it goes. Now, I think our biggest problem recently has been the fact that we have not brought in experience. And while I appreciate that this is the new model, I also think that in order for it to flourish and for these players to develop, they need a leader and a role model with experience in team. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be 39 years old, right? Like Thiago Silva was. Miss him terribly. But just someone that has played in kind of a consistent, system, has played in a team where they have helped players around them that, maybe have won a couple trophies, that really understand what it means to be a winning team or to compete for things. And I just think that we've been so void of players like that. And, we have been discussing our kind of goalkeeper, we've been talking about centre-back, we've been talking about even a midfielder and a striker. So essentially every single department pretty much on the field. So it's really, really funny how, while we're going for this model, I think we are sacrificing the present day a little bit too much. So we may, at the end of the season, and I hope I'm really wrong, look back at this January transfer window and think we could have been a bit more sensible and maybe even just brought in one more signing, but someone that is not a what if, that isn't a potential signing, but someone that could immediately impact us till the end of the season. And it wouldn't be wild. Like, we saw the owners do this with Joao Felix and his loan, which was literally one of the most expensive loans. And yeah, that really, really didn't go to plan. Obviously, second time again, we've seen with Joao Felix that it's just simply turned out to be a big kind of waste of money, and that's not the player's fault. In my opinion, I think he's been unlucky, and had it been another time, like different place, Joao Felix would have really impacted the team directly, maybe a little bit more consistently as well, but he never got the chance. So that's done. Obviously out to Milan, and I think that, you know, we've obviously sent a lot of our Chelsea boys there, so hopefully he thrives. And I think I feel bad for Felix because he's done so much hopping around, moving around, that he really has not settled much at all. And when it's time to settle and you think you might have just worked it out, bam, you're moving countries once again. So that's that. But I mean, back to the original point, that January is still meant to be, if you've got gaps and things are going wrong, and it's no coincidence that things have gone wrong for us in winter. December was a very tough month for us, and we had the opportunity to strengthen, and we didn't. Instead, we took out players that have added to our bench, and now we're left really thin on the ground. So obviously we recalled Trevor Chalobah from Crystal Palace, who sent Ben Chilwell over on loan, and I'm happy for him. I hope that this move can really revive his kind of like passion and love he has for football, because he's so intelligent and he's a really great guy. I think, not that I know him and I, you know, drink coffee with him every day or anything, but I just think that he's handled himself very professionally, and obviously Crystal Palace, I think, will need that reinforcement there on the left, and will benefit from having him there. Again, that's experience. That's kind of experience there, you know. He's won Champions League, you know, he's won things. So I think that that's a good move for him. And it's obviously, yeah, a loan. Then we have Axel Disasi, who has gone on loan to Aston Villa. Now, Axel Disasi, he has divided opinion in the fan base a lot. But then towards the end, I think he really kind of had all the fans in one box, in terms of we were all just really like, Disasi, it's not really working out. We don't trust you. You're not a reliable kind of centre-back. And, you know, while you looked kind of good against playing alongside Thiago Silva, like so did, I don't know, Badia Shill, and so did all our other players that had the honour to play alongside Silva. So really, like, again, I wouldn't say that's a lost cut, but you're taking more out of the defensive line. And for me, it's not about Disasi leaving. It's the fact that even with Disasi there, we never really brought in someone who can tie our whole back line in. So now we're kind of left with our centre-back options. Wesley Fofana is not available. He's injured. So again, you can kind of like really just take him out of the equation. Like, he's not there. Like Levi Colwill, Tosin, Trevor Chalobah, like these are our centre-back options. Tosin, Levi Colwill, Trevor Chalobah. Am I forgetting someone? Like, that's it. Badia Shill. So I think that, yeah, I think that it's quite concerning. And I think that, you know, we saw obviously Levi Colwill made a mistake, and a lot of fans are saying, you know, that's just showing that Colwill was not quite ready. And again, it comes back to experience, guys. Tosin, do you really trust him? Is he that reliable? Like Trevor Chalobah, someone who, I mean, everyone frowns upon the move, like as in the loan, come back saying, you know, like why at first, but it makes total sense now, because Trevor Chalobah, you could argue, is the most experienced there, you know, whether just for being at Chelsea for the longer time, or just because, you know, he's a really solid defender. So yeah, that is a little bit, Carney Chukwuemeka, another one who was loaned out to Borussia Dortmund. Now, out of the bunch, I think this is probably one of the coolest loan moves for him. Carney, I wish you nothing but the best. Please go out and ball out in Borussia Dortmund. And yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that they've kind of made quite a big deal out of the move. You know, they seem really excited, and they should be, because there he is. Carney will get minutes, hopefully. You know, Carney is such a, again, talented player, quite mistreated, maybe a little bit underrated in many aspects, but was never really in anyone's plans here at Chelsea. So that's a good move for him. So again, I'm looking at this kind of business, and I said to you guys at the start, there is a positive in all of these, that these are loans that will actually enable these players to get minutes that they wouldn't have at Chelsea here regularly anyway, barely ever. So obviously it's good in that sense. But then you look at Renato Vega, Juventus, that's another one that kind of, yeah, surprised me a little bit, because, you know, he barely just got started, and, you know, 6 months in and he's already wanting out. But again, you know, Vega, I'm sure he wants to play a little bit more than just in the Conference League. So yeah, let's be real, these players are probably better off, but I just worry about our kind of end to the season a little bit now, because I think that someone else should have walked through the door. You know, we've trimmed the squad, and I think I have another theory that maybe that's because, you know, we're focused on outgoings quite a lot, like we did in that kind of second summer window, I think, under the new owners, where we, you know, we got rid of players at the start and then went on to like buy loads. But now maybe we're just kind of sending out loans. Hopefully there will be some options to buy at the end where players can, like with Carney for example, we can make some money out of them. You know, if they do well and they play, their value will go up. So I think more of that side of things, I think that's why they've opted for loans. And then maybe I'm praying that our bigger recruitment and our, how shall I say this, the targets that we're pursuing that are a lot more difficult and just were not feasible in the middle of the season will be achievable in summer. And because, you know, we've trimmed the way we have, we can go and get those players in summer. However, with that, there's a big risk. You're sacrificing the present day, and the present day is incomplete because we need top 4 and we are a while away from that happening still, as in like the season ending. You know, we're still in February, so there are things to achieve. We know we have obviously got a cup, the FA Cup, and we got the Conference League as well. So the present day, things need to happen. So I hope that this transfer window doesn't mean that with the summer window in mind, we sacrifice this season and our goals. And by our goals, I mean the fans' goals, because I'm not too sure that they align quite with the clubs. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd be intrigued to see how you guys feel. Obviously, I mentioned outgoings, and I've completely forgot to mention the only signing we did make, Matisse Amugu, I think is his name, the 19-year-old midfielder from Saint Etienne. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you guys like I know anything about the player. He's a young kid, and he's a young kid. I don't know what the plan is here, guys, so I really can't tell you, and I'm not really gonna bother searching up any comps or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away from any of the points I made in the video. But that's it, guys. We will find out and we'll see what happens. I think the biggest thing for Chelsea is we need to stay fit. Otherwise, that could really cause some big issues. And we would have gone from having one of the most stacked clubs, an A team, a B team and a C team, to having just about an A team. And yeah, anyways, guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've stayed till the end, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you're not already. Check out my personal channel as well, Nina's Chelsea Corner. That will be linked in the description down below. Have a lovely week, guys. Take care of yourselves, and of course, up the Chels.